Woo, flying frog, look at this. Today another video about your favorite enclosure, which is of course the JUNGLEARIUM. Now the first thing that I need to talk about is of course the leak. I did address it in previous video, but now I have some more things to discuss. I potentially know what was the cause of the problem. The spot still leaks, and you see I added this silicone barrier so the water pools in here, and then I simply take it out with this sponge. The leak fills this pool in like 2 days, so I need to be mindful about it. Therefore, I will add like a 2 centimeters glass barrier around it, and therefore there will more water be able to pool inside, and I won't need to dry it that often. I mean, I won't need to take the water out of it. Now, the reason why it happened, I'm not like 100% certain, but it makes a lot of sense. It wasn't me who figured it out, but someone in the comments. Unfortunately, I don't remember who wrote that comment, but if you recognize yourself, thank you for that. You remember that in this corner I used to have that big plant that I took out and replaced it with this smaller plant. Coincidentally, right after I pulled that plant, the leak appeared, so maybe it wasn't a coincidence, right? First, look at the spot where the leak is, you see? It is right there somewhere under that log, and the big plant was right here. The roots went everywhere, and if you remember, I was pulling one particularly strong root from approximately that direction. So could it be that the root was wedged in between the silicone and the wall, and by yanking it outside I made a hole in the silicone and entire hydroisolation? It definitely makes a lot of sense, and the spot is basically ideal, so I think that it is not a coincidence that the leak appeared right where that big root was. I think therefore it was me to blame for that leak, which is actually a good thing, because that means that the water, the hydroisolation didn't fail on its own, but actually it was my error, which means hopefully there won't be more leaks unless the roots of other plants is super powerful and makes more holes. Or yeah, but look at this. They are right here where I'm holding the camera, and they are not afraid at all. The orange frog is here, also the green frog is here, and if I look more around, 2 more green frogs are over there, you see? It looks like they are talking to each other or something, and look at this cheeky little frog. Looking for food, I assume. Anyhow, whoever you are that wrote that comment in regard to root, thank you for probably solving this mystery. Also, another great idea that I read in the comments when I was talking about these walls, this wall and the other wall, how I'm dissatisfied, how ugly it looks and it is out of place. There were a lot of suggestions in the comments, and I like the one in particular saying that I should just cover the entire wall with bromeliads by gluing them to the wall directly. And I think that that is an excellent idea and exactly what I will do. The only thing, I would also like to get that black fabric hydro something that is used for the backgrounds. First put that on the wall, and then on top of that glue all the bromeliads. It will provide a great climbing surface for other plants that I can also stick in between the bromeliads, and that should work out beautifully, and hopefully I will start with that pretty soon. I just need to find some store that is maybe willing to sponsor the bromeliads, because I will need kinda a lot, I think, I don't know. But to be honest, at the start of this project I was convinced that I will need to buy a lot of plants, but it turned out that just the ones that I received from a couple of subscribers were enough to fill this entire JUNGLEARIUM. I mean, I could fit more plants, but honestly it is pretty full and lush, and it will only get fuller as these plants grow in. And while we are on the subject of plants, you might notice that this plant actually fell down on the sides. You see, it was like standing right here, and now it moved here, and also it fell on this plant, but I moved it on the side. This is the 3rd time it happened, and at first I thought that the plant is not doing the best and it is not healthy enough to support itself, support its weight. But now, after this happened for the 3rd time, I'm convinced that this is the way this plant just spreads. It grows like really tall, for this plant at least, and then it folds on the side, and you see it is already starting to raise up. It is definitely doing that intentionally, because I don't see any other explanation for that. I think that it is doing that just to spread around better, and I don't really like. I loved how this is a relatively small plant in comparison with this one or some other ones, but now it is like taking over this entire area, and I definitely dislike that it is covering these leaves, because look at these leaves, how beautiful this plant is. Holy moly, it is so thick and meaty, and you see how strong it is. It is not bending or anything. An awesome plant. So I need to push this one like over there and maybe cut it a bit. And after we are done with the plants, then we can add something new, something that I prepared. I think that I'll just cut this and let it regrow more. I don't want to close off this entire area with this plant. I know that it looks really bad now, but everything will regrow and pop back up. This is just the nature of cutting and trimming the plants. You just need to contain them in some way, otherwise they will just take over everything. And just look at this. No, not the frog, but if camera can focus on the thing, yeah, you see these roots? They are coming from a broken leaf. So basically a broken leaf just fell down, and look, even here it is growing roots. What the hell, man? This is the Junglarium magic. I don't know how to even call it. And take this plant, for example. Roach guy gave me it was just one stem with a couple of leaves, slowly withering and dying in his care. But after I put it here, look, it just recovered and it is growing like crazy. I have even more examples. This is another Roach guy's plant. It only had one leaf, and look at the condition of this leaf. It is like dead, dying, right? But after a month in Junglarium, look at this fresh growth over there and also here under the leaf. It is crazy how this plant will just manage to recover while it was a dying stem with just one half-dead leaf. And it is not like I'm doing something special. I just put plants inside and that's it. And honestly, I don't even know what to do with these two plants anymore. I mean, they are taking over everything. You see, everything is covered with them, and look at this frog in bromeliad. Just chilling, I guess. And another one over there, while big one is climbing in the back. So much activity inside. But this is the plant that I really want to grow, because look how it got spikes, these spikes on the leaves. And what is interesting, it appears that every next leaf will have more and more of those spikes. You see? This is next one, and it got a ton of spikes. So I can't wait for this one to get bigger. And its neighbor is also not far off. Nice metallic shine or whatever. Now, since we are here, I want to lift this cork bark to see if we can spot something interesting under it. It will disturb the frog, but yeah. Nothing interesting. Yep. That was one isopod. If I move this, nothing special, unfortunately. Look how they are chilling on the leaf. I just love how they are not afraid of me. So bold. And yeah, can I lift this one with the leaf? Woo, flying frog, look at this. If only my hand would stop shaking. Do you want to jump down? This is so cool. There we go. One super bold frog, I must say. Now, let's add some new animals, right? I bet you are thinking what it could possibly be, but you will probably be a bit disappointed, because it is not a new lizard or new frog. Instead, we are going to add some roaches. But in all honesty, it is one actually really cool species. Look at them running around. These are all babies, and I'm just going to dump a little bit, I guess, and maybe a couple of adults if I can find them. Roach guy gave me these. This is some gyna species. I will need to ask him to write me an exact species name, because I've kind of forgot. But yeah, these are kind of smallish. You see, some babies are really small, and potentially orange frogs could get them, because in previous Junglarium update, we spotted an orange frog grabbing like a relatively large isopod. So I'm convinced that they can grab these smallest roaches. And look how fast they are. Hopefully they won't overtake the entire Junglarium. Let me see if I can find some adult. Whoa, there are so many babies. Originally I wanted to add a lot, but now I'm thinking, the more I'm thinking about it, the less I feel that way. Where are all the adults? Is this one? Nope, another nymph, but much bigger. Adults have wings, and I don't see a single winged one. Just a whole bunch of nymphs. Holy moly. Here is a dead carcass of an adult roach. Come on, seriously now, not a single adult in this sea of roaches. I don't see a single winged one, but I cannot believe how many there are inside. You know what? I think that after I add these that I separated, I'm going to do like a feeding frenzy. We are going to put some vegetable inside, some fruit I mean, and try to record a nice time-lapse. Yeah, that should be interesting. Here are all the roaches that we are going to add, and it looks like not a lot, but I don't really want them to overtake this enclosure. So let's see if this frog will be interested. Oh, it is trying to grab them for sure, but oh, what? A little too big? Honestly, I'm not sure if it grabbed it or not. I will need to see it in the footage. So let's just drop them all here and see how they scatter around. Oh, another candidate and another one over there. They are trying to grab them for sure, but I just don't know if they are holding on to them, because there are some that are bigger and some that are smaller, so it all depends which one they try to grab. Roaches everywhere, but the frog is not reacting. And it looks like there is a roach stuck to its leg. And what do you think? Whoa! What the hell was that? Interesting for sure. Oh, look at this. Hello, Mr. Frog. Are you enjoying your hole over there? I didn't even notice that it is in the hole. This is so cool looking. Nice house, bro. Nice house for sure. Okay, there are still some things that we need to talk about in regards to Junglarium, but let's now first try to record that feeding frenzy. Yeah, it will just be a time lapse. Okay, the result is a bit disappointing, to be honest. I was almost convinced that they will eat everything, but from what you can see, not a lot, not even half was eaten. Yeah, definitely not even half. I haven't seen the time-lapse, but I hope that they at least swarmed the apples. I don't know. Let's get back to the Junglarium. To the water section, to be more exact, because I didn't even mention this, but you see I added this fish inside. I think that they are called the neon tetras or something, but this was the last one that I had in my aquarium, and I decided to just take it out and put it inside too. I know that it is a bit sketchy to say, but I wanted to test out to see if the water is alright. And even though I was almost 100% certain that the water is fine, I couldn't really test it out, because this test on ammonia that I have is not really usable in aquarium like this one, because it relies on the coloration of the water after you put the stuff in. And because of all the stuff that I have inside, this water already got a coloration. You see, it is nice brown coloration, which is actually something I really prefer. It looks more naturalistic, but because of that I cannot test it with this test. So I was like, what the hell, I'm just going to add this fish and see how it will do. And so far so good. She is inside for I think more than a month, and it looks like without any problems. And if you look really good at it, it kind of seems fat, and much fatter than she was before I added inside. So maybe it is a pregnant female, I don't know. Not really sure how it really works with these fishes. I used to have more inside of the aquarium, so maybe she got pregnant over there and now the eggs are developing or something. I don't know. I guess I will see. If she gets slim all of a sudden, then I know what's the case. And now I have one or maybe even two potentially bad news. First one is, you remember that frog that I showed you 2 videos ago that got like some sort of injury on top of her knee. Well, a few days after that, the situation dramatically worsens, and now I haven't spotted her for a week. So I don't know if she crawled somewhere and died, or she's just hiding because of the injury. And also the other thing is, I haven't seen trilobites in a while, so maybe they're just hiding, so crossing my fingers for that. Although more realistically, since by now I've been spotting them every now and then, I think the chances are high that they are also gone. I don't know. Hopefully I will at least find some remains. And now some of my final observations. I noticed that more frogs are now spending their time on the substrate level. They are still climbing a bunch, but I noticed them more and more to spend their time here on the substrate level, and I think that is because I am almost exclusively feeding them in this area. So they are probably noticing that this is where the food is mainly located. I still scatter some fruit flies around, but great majority is being dumped at this area. So yeah, I prefer that because that way I see them more. They are easier to spot and also easier to feed. Only this one on top is almost always here, as if she claimed this spot. So I'm also dropping fruit flies over there. So if it wasn't obvious by now, I'm really enjoying the Junglarium, and I'm satisfied with the animals that I choose, and now I think that I'm ready for the next step, to get new animals. And I didn't plan on going, but now I'm thinking to maybe go to Next Terra Plaza as a visitor and get the tree frogs and some really specific lizards. Yeah, I think you will need to wait for that for like 2 more videos. It is not that bad, right? Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Upload on Monday. So see you again really soon. Bye.